Eventually, you run straight up to the gates of Mossflower City. It's complete pandemonium.
Where's Bungo?
But the mayor is being held hostage on stage. Citizens of Mossflower City, the cult of the Algernon Flowers is here for your salvation. And he plunges his rapier deep into the forearm of the mayor. The sparrows clutch both of his arms, and he begins to lift.
Portobello, do you have your slingshot?
You tear off 1/5 of this map. And the people of Mossflower City are now safe. All of this is going to happen in the week after the attack on Mossflower City, after Mr. Dolly gets away by flying away with some sparrows, and the militia comes in and separates the citizens from the cultists and moves them out of the way and kicks them out of the city, outside of the borders, and everybody has retreated to the culinary center, which is where we last ended. Clementine and Nomura, you guys have been setting this place up. It runs efficiently, and you now have a piece of the map, which is super exciting. However, you don't understand what's on it. It is only part of a map, and it's hard to tell what part of what map it technically is. So Professor Simon Kuroda has volunteered to look at it and reference it with a bunch of old maps that he has and a bunch of ancient sites and try to decipher it and figure out if he can find out any clues to where the cult of the Algernon Flowers is going to strike next, and if this map really does seem like it's going to lead to a specific place, that specific place being Redwall Abbey. So he's doing that, and he says after he's deciphered it, then everybody will meet up, as in, you know, the main folks. You three, him, Captain Fang Pierce, Nomura Spike, Edward Redmayne, the Frog family. Those people, you'll all meet up at a certain place and discuss the next plan of attack for how you guys are going to find Redwall Abbey.
Woo! Roll credits.
Yay.
So in that meantime, I know that we've talked about how we're going to level things up, and so for the listeners at home, leveling up in Fate Core is not actually leveling up. It's not like all of a sudden these three characters are level 2 now. That's not the case. What is the case, though, is that they have upgrades to certain things. So I have given them all a skill point, which means that they're going to be able to move one of their skills up one level, but it still has to fit within the Fate Pyramid, the skill pyramid, where at the top is 1 and the next one is 2 and the next one is 3, to where in the lower tiers there are more skills than up in the upper tiers. They've all either moved a +0 skill up to +1, or they have moved a -1 skill up to a +0, and it's kind of changed that tier without ruining the skill pyramid. And also I've given them all a point of refresh. So for some of them, that means that they just get one more fate point every session, and for others, it means that they are now able to get a new stunt. So that is what is going on level up wise. Now, we're going to put those things narratively into the canon of this podcast, and I know that each of you have a scene that you kind of want to do or play out in order to role play how you've gained this either stunt or this new skill or something like that. All right, so let's see. Who should we start with? I think we should start with, I think, Clementine.
All right.
So you're leveling up your rapport. That's correct, right? And you are also taking the stunt, the inner eye sees inner truth. And what does that do?
The description of this stunt is that without rolling, you can tell if another character is lying, so long as the target's deceive is equal or lower than your empathy. In the case of a high deceive, you will know that you cannot tell, but will never receive a false positive.
How do you want to play this out to show that you've gained some skill in rapport, or what do you do to get better in rapport?
Right. So while we're taking care of this shelter, me and Namora and all the other old ladies and a lot of the soldiers and the knights and the little orphan children in Mossflower City, rumors spread about how the wife of the mayor has just been locked up in their house and no one's seen her. No one knows how she's been affected by this. And so many rumors are just going around about her character and who she is and why she hasn't said anything yet. And I'm going to decide to go and try and speak to her. And hopefully it will go well, and then I will be on her good side, and I will encourage her to try to take up some of the responsibilities of the mayor while the mayor hasn't been replaced yet. Or maybe she can even run for mayor whenever they decide to hold new elections. And if that works, then she will really like me, and she'll tell all of her, like, high-class government friends about how cool Clementine is, and then I will have good rapport.
Hey, what are some of the rumors about the wife of the mayor? Because this is not an NPC that I have created, and so I need to know more about her.
Well, she is quite a bit younger than the mayor, so already there were a lot of rumors about the nature of their relationship. Some people didn't respect her very much. Some people thought that she just married him for money, and some people thought that he just married her because of the way she looked. And ever since he's died, people say that some of the rumors are that she just doesn't care about the city, so that's why she shut herself away. Some people say that she's been crying this entire time and hasn't been able to get over it. And some people say that she has actually left and that she's just completely abandoned the city.
Okay, so what is your plan of attack to getting this mayor's wife, who we are going to name?
Well, my initial plan is just to sort out the rumors, because everyone is talking way too much and solving nothing. And Clementine does not like that. So she is just going to walk up to the door and knock it and figure out what is going on with this mayor's wife.
Whose name is?
Lila.
Lila?
And she's just going to knock on the door and see if it is answered.
Okay. You stroll up to the mayor's mansion, but it's not very mansion-y. It's just a house near the center of the city. And you stroll up and you knock and you hear this shuffle, like this quick shuffle as papers are being moved and like a stool screeches against the ground real quick. And you hear kind of like some patting and some dusting of like clothing on a human trying to make themselves look more presentable, but we're not humans, so I don't know why I said that. Like a creature in this fantasy land brushing off their clothes in order to look more presentable, and the door opens and you see Lila, the chinchilla, standing in front of you.
Mrs. Lila, so glad to see you're alive.
Yes, and she wipes something from her eyes real fast. It's good to see you,
Clementine.
Clementine.
Yes.
It is.
It's pleased to make your acquaintance.
Good. Well, to be honest, my place isn't that much in order, but...
Oh, no, don't worry about any of that. I just wanted to come and see how you were. People have been talking.
And I just barged straight in.
Yeah, that's what I pictured. I pictured you kind of just push her through. Oh, okay, okay. And she closes the door quickly behind her and pulls up a stool, kind of moves some
I think
papers
I
off
somehow
of it.
make my way into their kitchen.
Okay, we can say that you do that. The first room is more like a greeting area that goes into a dining room where there's a table and a few chairs around it, and that table is covered in papers, and you go through that without really paying any mind to what's going on, and straight into the kitchen, where you find kitchen stuff, but all the dishes are dirty.
All right, so I'm going to start boiling a pot of tea as in a pot of water, and I'm going to say, "Oh, let me help you with these dishes." And I'm just going to start scrubbing them.
Okay, I'll just step back here. Oh, I have lots of different teas here. Which kind would you like? I get them all from
darling, this is for you. This is for you. It's your choice. What kind of tea would you like, Lila?
I think I'll go with more of a hibiscus green tea or some. Does that sound okay with you?
Oh, perfect.
Yes? Okay. We'll do that then.
Now, Lila, please sort out all of these rumors. People have been saying so many different things. Oh, obviously you're still here. What are your plans? Do you know what you're doing with the city?
What? I'm not in charge, Clementine. It's not the mayor is not a mantle that gets passed to husband to wife upon death. There's of course, a way we do things. We have a election, and we have two people that run against each other, and we have a person of great importance and respect in the city. Just, they run things, and to her mayor, I was hoping that maybe Namora Spike would hop in, because she's so well loved, even though it seems
Namora Spike is so busy these days, she doesn't have time to be a mayor. Listen to yourself. The elections aren't going to happen for months. There's people sick and dying all over the place. We need someone who's taking charge until those elections can happen, and that, well, I hate to say it, but that duty tends to fall on the wife of the husband who's died in almost any position. And that's you, my dear.
This is I look, Clementine, you've come in, and the first thing you said was about rumors. And that is what my relationship with my husband Clint has been since day one. Every rumor about how we were too different in age, there are too many seasons between us, and how he only liked me for my looks, or if I was only in it for the money or the power. And then I told you after that the interim mayor position needs to be someone who is well liked and respected, and frankly, that's not me.
Lila?
It's not. It's just
No,
it's just
it
not
can
me.
be. It can be you. The thing about those rumours, and I've heard them too, even all the way where I'm from, over in, you would know it as New Canopy. Even all the way over there, we've heard tales of you and the mayor, and anyone with a head on their shoulders knows that it's all just humbug. No one takes any of that seriously. No one with any education. You are obviously a smart young woman. You are a graduate of Mossflower University. And, look at your dining table over there. It's practically littered with all of your studying materials. You have everything it takes to act as mayor, and in my opinion, you have everything it takes to run for mayor once the time is here. And another thing about those rumours is that they have never been properly addressed, and if perhaps one day you had the courage to leave your home and address those rumours to the public, the curious public who wants to know who you are, well, then maybe there wouldn't be so many discussions about what goes on behind closed doors. I'm gonna pour her some tea and put it in front of her in a cup.
Like a boss.
Sugar?
Takes it.
To help wash down that bitter medicine she just shoved out your throat.
Yes, please.
All right, give her some sugar.
You let her have it.
I think that you should roll rapport with your new rapport skill at all the way up to a 0. Yeah.
Perfect.
And it's a 2! She does it! I think that she takes a sip of her tea and puts it down. And while she is doing that, she looks out of the side of her eyes and over at that dining room table that you've pointed out to her and how it's all cluttered with not studying materials, but a mixture of love letters from her late husband, Clint, and plans on how to get this city back on track that she's been creating in her plentiful free time as she's holed herself up into this place. She just kind of sets down her tea and walks over and starts sorting between the two, kind of muttering to herself and not acknowledging you, basically, at all, because now she's starting to feel like she's on a little bit of a mission. You've put some spark into her life and her plans, and eventually she kind of puts some things together and looks up at you and says, Okay.
Aye. That's the spirit, Lila.
And I'm gonna... Can I, like, shake her hand or hug her?
Sure. You can
Okay.
give her either one. Which one do you prefer? She doesn't care.
I think I'm gonna hug her. And then while I hug her, I'm gonna say,
Now, don't tell the men this, but there's much more freedom in being a widow than you would think.
And stares longingly into her eyes.
Oh, okay. I won't tell them that, but I would like to tell them something. So, could you help me round them up and get them to the town square, and I will address them all there?
Yes! Perfect! We'll make a luncheon out of it!
Sure. Yeah, you do your thing. I'm gonna prepare the speech now. I just need some extra paper and a board and more of a plan. This is not solid enough. And she kind of goes back to her notes, and slowly but surely, as she talks to herself more, she becomes more enamored in them until she clearly forgets that you exist.
Well, I'll leave you to it.
And she continues, No, but if we allocate this much here, then, well, what about the orphans? And well, we could have them, they could sing a song, and so on and so forth until you sneak out.
yep.
And you do that. Everybody meets up at the town square. You get everybody to do that through your cool stunts that get people together, called the strength
it's
of
a
one
luncheon.
becomes the strength of many, that a luncheon is happening at the town square, and there will be a speech, an address made by Lila, last name, the chinchilla, who is going to kind of assert herself as, I'm here, I'm gonna run this, because I could do it, because Clementine said I could, and she empowered me. That whole thing. People show up. She stands up on the stage and gets everybody's attention. Now that she's on stage and people are starting to remember what happened last on that stage, everyone almost instantaneously gets quiet. She addresses the crowd with, I stand before you today in the very spot where my husband fell to those terrible, evil cultists who destroyed our city. I apologize for my absence. I truly do. I truly, truly do. I should have said something sooner, but I felt like I needed to make a plan. And for that, I thank Clementine and Namora Spike and Captain Fangpierce for doing a great job at making this place safer again and helping out the citizens. But it is a temporary fix, and we need long-term growth. And so I've come up with this plan. And she kind of opens up this giant banner with several steps that are outlining the rebuilding of certain buildings and allocating certain resources to certain areas and how people are going to get things back and what's going to happen with the sick and what's going to happen with those who have passed in the attack, and just this huge list of how it's going to happen. And she goes through and she explains each step, saying that this is what we have to do. And slowly but surely you see as everybody's eyes start to change from this fear to more of a hope. And she has enamored the crowd at this point because her confidence, and she just showed up and she just said what needed to be done, and people are listening. And it just seems to you that these rumors were pointless. They were just chatter. But now that she's stepping up in a time of crisis, you feel as if Mossflower City's gonna be okay, and that you can go off on your journey to find Redwall Abbey, and this place isn't going to fall apart like you were afraid it was going to. And you feel that Lila is very proud of herself. Because at some point she, like, gives you a wink during her speech. Because, you know, you did this. You know? Clementine, you did this.
And Portobello wants to tell her something.
Okay. What is it?
Okay, so can Portobello go up to her after her presentation?
Yeah, of course. I think a lot of people are, and she's shaking hands, and you probably don't do that. You just waddle up, don't you?
No, yeah, I waddle up, and she's talking to someone, and I get right in front of that person. And I said, "Hello, I liked it when you read it to us, because it helped me understand, and I like the way you talk, and I think you're really pretty, and I think that it was really nice when you said that my friends helped you. I'm gonna give you a hug." And then he gives her a big hug. "What? It's nice meeting you."
Nice
And
meeting
then
you, too.
he waddles away.
That was very cute. Speaking of which, I think it's a good transition into Portobello's thing. We're going into your level up scenario, in which you have raised Deceive from a 0 to a 1, which is fun. And then you have added the stunt Hatpin Maestro, which is you don't ever have to spend a fate point to declare that you have the proper tools for lockpicking or disabling a device. Even in extreme situations, like being imprisoned and separated from all your stuff, this source of opposition is just off the table. Which is fun. Which is why, at some point during this week, probably very early on, Captain Fang Pierce walks up to you and gets down on one knee so you guys can talk closer to face. And
Okay.
all right, so Portobello,
Yes'ms.
you have done a fantastic job of helping this city, and I am very proud of you. It's the first thing I wanted to say.
Well, thank you. I'm proud of you too, Mrs. Captain Fang Pierce.
Excellent. I appreciate that. Now, I've been a little on the fence about this decision, but it seems like you and that big badger bloke and Clementine, you guys have all become kind of a team, and I know that wherever their journey takes them, you're probably going to tag along because they're your friends now.
They're my friends.
Right. And as much as that pains me to see someone as young as you go off, and I'll be very worried about you, the least I can do is help you gain some skills and knowledge to help you on your way. So I got you these because you are a very sneaky person and you are very good at stealing things. And that's not a compliment you should necessarily be proud of, but there you go. Out of all the compliments I've given you, that one's the least proud of you should be. But I did get you these lockpicks and this trap disarming set. So here they are. I'm going to teach you to use them, which is probably against my better judgment, because when you get back to Mossflower City, you are probably just going to break into my desk and take all the things I've confiscated from you. But...
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yep, there we go. Okay, but right now, I'm going to teach you how to open some locked doors. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to break into that stinking mouse's house, is what we're going to do.
Oh, so we've got to pick the lock on that door because it's our favorite.
Right now, it's our favorite in the investigation of what happened here and how that mouse gained so much power and how he influenced so many people. So, yes, you could say it's our favorite in a way.
If I like a different one another day, I can pick a different lock.
Look, your favorite lock, here's the deal. I'll make you this deal. You can always pick the lock of your favorite door, but your criteria for how to choose your favorite door and your favorite lock in order to pick needs to be the one that is most necessary for you to reach your goal of finding this Redwall Abbey. Deal?
All right.
So
I'll pick that one.
Okay. All right. Good. Now, until then, let's go to Mr. Dolly's house and break into it. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys go there. The first door is very easy because you already had the key to it, because you stole it, and you open it very quickly. If you don't remember that, you did steal his key from under his mat.
Yes,
I
did.
And you walk in, and Captain Fangpier says, "This key doesn't work on all of the other doors, so we need to go through, and in order to get into the kitchen, into the bedroom, into all of these dressers, into all of these boxes that probably use different keys, as sneaky people like him do, we need to break into them with these lockpick sets. And there might be traps, so we're also going to use the trap disarming set. Okay?
Okay, I got it. So Portobello's gonna run into this house, and he's scurrying around, and he finds this big blue chest, and it has a keyhole on it, and he says, "I'll pick that one."
Okay, now let's actually pick it. And she
I
holds
just
up
said,
her
I
things.
like this one.
No. I mean, yes. I think it's a very good box, too. But take these. Take them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sticks
good.
it in his mouth.
All right, now take them out of your mouth. Hold them like this.
Oh, I was just licking it. Makes it work.
Okay.
Okay. I've got it.
Yeah, don't hand them back to me. I have my own set. And what you're going to do is, and then she takes you through the process of how to pick a lock. And I, Aubrey, don't know how to do that. And I'm not going to embarrass myself by pretending to know the step-by-step instructions. So I'm sure it's just filled with tons of miscommunications about Captain Fangpier saying something and then you misconstruing it into a different way. And there are a lot of laughs and a lot of confusion, but eventually you pick up on it because Portobello may not be academically smart, but he catches on to things real fast. So
yeah.
I think eventually you pop this open.
Yay, what's in it?
It's just a bunch of cannolis.
Yay!
All right, clue 1. He liked cannolis.
What is... I've never had one of these before. It's like someone put whipped cream in the taco. Like he knows what a taco is, but not a cannoli.
Yes, and they're hard shell, but hey, those needed to stay refrigerated. Like there's no way those are good. They're gonna make you sick. Please don't. No, Portobello, don't. No. No.
Oh my god. It's so good. You guys try some of these. Wow.
Captain Fang Pierce closes the door and then locks it back to where you can't get into these bad cannolis anymore.
Okay. It's okay. I've got this one more. I'm gonna savor it. Savor the flavor, ain't that right, Captain Fang Pierce?
That's absolutely right, yes. Okay. And you guys go through the rest of the house, picking locks into different things. What you do find of any importance are just some general cult materials, like a robe or like a medallion that has the symbol sprawled across it.
Okay.
And not a lot of incriminating... Well, there's a lot of incriminating evidence that he was a bad person, but you also just know that from experience. And...
Right.
But there's nothing that kind of points to where he went or where he could have gone. You do find in a room a place where he was painting things, and I think you would recognize the art style as the same ones that are in that base. Like, he painted all of those himself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's some good information. I guess I'm going to tell Fang Pierce that. Hey, Captain Fang Pierce. Hey, these paintings, you know, it looks a lot like the ones in that cold cave place, and that the base.
Wait, what? Cold cave place? Base?
Yeah, when you go out into the woods and then you go visit the Frog family, and then you go in a garage place, and then you get in there, you open up the secret door, and then, you know, that place.
Okay. Well, that's something I needed to know sooner. Okay, hey, you keep looking. You pick... Look, okay, hold on. I can't just say pick any lock. Nope, look at me. Look at me.
Not the cannoli.
Uh-huh.
You can break into any lock in this house, and then without putting anything that you find, you leave there. You do not put it in your mouth until I get back, and then we'll decide what goes in the buckets and what doesn't. You can pick anything in this house.
Okay.
You cannot open a lock of anybody else's place.
I'll save some for you.
Okay, sounds good. I have to run because what you just told me was incredibly important, and I appreciate you. Okay, have fun, but not too much. Okay, bye. And she kind of runs out the door pretty quickly.
Awesome.
And I think you've learned to lockpick, and you've learned your new love of cannolis.
Yeah, I sure have.
Let's do digs.
Time for Diggs the Bold.
All right, so
Biggs the Dold.
Biggs the Dold.
Diggs
So-
the Dole.
You are just using your point of refresh as a point of refresh, so
I
you
need
can
it.
use more fate points.
So bad.
And you are raising your skill of lore from 0 to 1.
Yeah, the way I kind of justified it is when Simon said he was going to study the map and see more clues, or look for more clues with it, that Diggs would, it being very pertinent to his mission, the whole reason he's here, he would go along with Simon and see if he could be of any help to Simon. Something I also think I want Diggs to do, would it be possible to get one of those rapiers that they use to inject the mayor? I'm assuming like some of the henchmen had them as well to help spread the affliction. Would it be possible for Diggs to grab one?
Yeah. Well, most of them get away, but you can definitely get the one that's sitting in the base. Like, you can go back and grab it.
Okay.
It takes less than a day to get there and back if you don't lollygag and drink tea.
Okay, Diggs will definitely do that. He would definitely grab the rapiers as well.
When you get there, Barney and Ted and Jeremy are gone. You don't know where they went. You didn't stick around to figure out where they went, but they're not there anymore. But you can easily get to the rapier because they have not cleaned up the place whatsoever. And they left. And now you can leave. You
Okay.
just get the rapier and go back and
Yeah.
go to the Smithsonian and hang out with Simon?
Yeah, I think what Diggs would do is he would first just be more of almost like a steward to begin with. Like if he needs, if Simon needs to reach a book, but he's too old to get up to that said book, he would help him get him out, keep him, like get him like tea or whatever he needs if he wants to burn the midnight oil, refill his oil so he can keep looking at the map and that sort of thing. And as Diggs is helping being a steward, like looking over the maps and like asking questions like, okay, why are you doing this? Why is this book important? Do you want volume 3 or 4? For what specific reason? Stuff like that. And then Diggs is going to be like slowly gaining knowledge almost via osmosis from him. I don't know how readily available Simon is to be a mentor, but I think Diggs is definitely very used to being like a squire or like serving under a person. So he's very good at like helping people in that way.
I think the way it would work would be that he's telling you things like, get the book on the history of Mossflower, August 2017. And you run and you get it, and he kind of takes this piece of map and he's kind of comparing it to different maps all around him and different books and different histories, and you're probably asking small questions like,
so Simon, what exactly are you looking for?
Yes, okay. Well, if you look at this map right here, well, not the full map, clearly the small part of the map that young Portobello tore off of the full map, what you can see in the bottom right corner here, you can see this bit of trees, a part of the woodlands, part of Mossflower Woods that has a particular kind of tree, and it's got this particular kind of shape. And I have all of these old maps that predate back from before the disappearance of the Abbey to see that what this could be. And then also there's a book. It's unfortunately untitled, but I'm trying to figure out what this book is. Once I figure out those two clues, then we know what we're looking for and where we're looking for it.
I think these would be also places where Diggs would also like put in a little bit, because as like knights, you also have to like study war and like know how to use a map and how to plan troops and that sort of thing. And I think like, but wait, this river's not in that position. It's supposed to be a little further south, like as like maps can get skewed as time goes on and that sort of thing. And he's trying to like show, maybe like prove to Simon a little bit, like, I'm not completely dense. I'm just not knowledgeable in this.
mm-hmm.
And that sort of thing. Also, I think Diggs would also want to go down that whole weapons thing, and that this is where he pulls up the rapier and almost like puts it on the table. Like, we also need to figure out who's supplying these people with these weapons. They might not be doing it purposefully, but if we can stop them from spreading this affliction so easily, maybe we can slow them down a little bit. I think seeing the mayor get injected and rapidly taken over by the affliction has really spooked Diggs.
Yeah, I think that would spook everybody who saw it.
Yeah.
For sure. When you set it down, he just says something simple like,
Oh, fascinating. Yes, I was wanting to get a look at one of those. But I just, you know about maps, and you know about, look, grab these resources, and he just lists a bunch of resources, and he says, now, if you cover this for a little bit, then I can look at this rapier and see if I can figure out how it works, but just to get my mind off of this temporarily, and don't ruin my work. Do you hear that, young man?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, Diggs, you're doing all of these things, fetching these books, helping Simon out with whatever he says, and I have a very important question, which is, do you want to make the discovery, or do you want him to make a discovery, and if you make a discovery, what do you want it to be?
I mean, having the choice between Diggs or an NPC, I think I'd probably pick my character. And I think having Diggs' kind of background of probably being very book smart and probably studied a lot of maps, being kind of like in the terms of like the military and that sort of thing, that making a discovery about the forest makes the most sense for him.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's say you are looking at an old map, and up at the top it's the language that you read, but it's like the equivalent to us reading like ye old English.
Oh yeah,
right?
Beowulf.
Yeah, it's like reading Beowulf. You can read it, but it doesn't make that much sense. But good for you. You are just looking at shapes of trees on the map.
It's a picture book.
It's essentially, well, two maps are both pictures, and they're in a book. So yeah, it's a picture book. If you want to look at it that way. You notice that there are some very particular markings up at the top of each of these little trees, as if they have a form of fruit. And after you've tried over and over and over again of all these different maps and that depict the different seasons and the different years, and you make a discovery that you're just looking at the map in probably the wrong season. The piece of map that you're looking at has fruit trees on it. And fruit doesn't appear on fruit trees every season. There's a certain season to it. So you've been looking at all of these winter maps and some of these summer maps and some of these fall maps, and you realize you need to be looking at a map of the spring. So you and Simon together just scour the place for all the maps of the spring until you find that this perfectly matches Sweet Fruit Orchard up in the northwest part of Mossflower Woods.
Simon, I found it. We were looking at the maps completely wrong this whole time. We were looking at the wrong season. And Diggs points to the set of maps. And it's like, it's Sweet Fruit Orchard. That's where we have to go.
That is an excellent discovery, young man. Oh, I'm gonna make a scholar out of you yet. Well, on my grandmother's tatted whiskers. You're right. Diggs, this is an incredible discovery that you've made. And now it's move. Now we must discover the sword. We must discover the sword.
Okay.
And he pushes you out of the way and starts looking back at like different.
Diggs like falls to one side and is a little stunned. He's not being a big fellow. He's not being used to being pushed aside so easily.
Yeah, well, he's on a mission. He's got a high will, and he's also got the same stunt that Clementine does that allows her to use her will instead of physique to do feats of strength.
I feel like during this whole campaign, Diggs is definitely getting a lot, if not already, a much healthier respect of what older people can do.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So, eventually, he goes through another day's past as you guys look through all of these old tomes, and this is at near the end of the week until he just says, "Diggs, I've got it. Go and gather everybody and tell them to meet us at that old Kotaf base at the Frog families. It's the only place that seems safe and secure enough,
right.
I think. So get Fang Pierce and Clementine and Namora Spike and that young hamster boyfriend of yours, and not hamster boyfriend, hamster orphan friend that is also a boy with you, and that's all I can think of right now."
Should we also inform the new established Mayor Regent Lila?
Yes, invite her, but she might be too busy, especially with all of us off and away at a meeting of sorts. So if she can't make it, then it's not a big deal.
Okay. Diggs goes out, and how is the city doing? Like, how is it recover? How's it doing in this week?
It's doing better than it was at the start of the week, for sure. With Lila ordering people around. Well, I don't think she's much of an orderer. With Lila working together with people in order to get some buildings rebuilt and making sure that Namora and Clementine have all of the resources that they need for the newly established shelter. That is all going well. It is getting better. People feel better. However, a lot of people have lost a lot of other people, so morale's still not that high. And the sick are still sick. There is no cure for the affliction. And for those who have it now, because it was forced upon them by these evil cultists, it's not looking any better for them. And it's hard for people to try to treat it, because it's more of a physical thing that when you try to treat the affliction, you tend to get it on yourself. So you have to make sure you're wearing, basically full scrubs or like even a hazmat suit, essentially, but this medieval fantasy kind of hazmat suit in order to work with people, that kind of thing. And so, I mean, it's not going too well on that front, which is why you're still going to have this meeting and why you're going to go find Redwall Abbey and all of that.
If it would,
we can just say you gathered everybody.
I
and
do.
Just go to the next scene.
That's fair. Okay, we can just do that.
Okay, so you gather everybody. You are all now underground, secret, Kotaf base with all of the major NPCs and you three.
Cool. Okay, so we are here, and I feel like Diggs is coming. Like Simon walks in, and Diggs is coming like behind him, carrying like a large set of maps all rolled up together and also scroll cases and that sort of thing following behind him.
Yeah, I think that once you get there and you've made the office space of Ted, Barney, and Jeremy into more of a centralized room with a big table, and you've got some chairs there, and you and Professor Kuroda walk in, you kind of lay down all of the maps, and everybody's kind of chatting about what they've been doing individually and still making plans for the city until I think Lila would step in, because she is there now, because we have now birthed this NPC into the universe and she's going to be important now because Tessa made her. Okay, she steps in with, look, as much as I want to keep talking about this whole, rebuilding Mossflower City kind of thing, we do need to take a step back. And what is with this quest for Redwall? This is new to me. Can somebody quickly catch me? Like, I understand it's a myth and a legend, right? It's not real.
Myth. That's all the young ones call it, isn't it? Well, it might be more than that.
And, I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. Our quest is to find this fabled Redwall and find a cure for the affliction and probably get a little bit of revenge.
Simon chimes in with, yes, so I found a map in an old castle, in an old tome, and I had just finished confirming that it led to Redwall Abbey, and it truly did. But then that darn mouse waltzed in and stole it from us, and these three brave heroes were there in order to stop them, and then, of course, he ran off, and then there's a big hustle and bustle, and something about throwing a hamster like a shot put, and then...
Diggs flexes at that.
And then some type of trickery, and then finding this place, and then, well, the attack, you were there for that, but then, once again, these three were able to take back part of the map, this one right here, and he holds it up, and then Diggs and I worked together, and we cracked the code, and now I know the first clue in order to find Redwall Abbey. So, Diggs and I have been working to figure out this part of the map and what these trees are and what this book might be, and after we've worked for so long, Diggs so expertly pointed out that this is most likely Sweet Fruit Orchard, which is excellent. We know exactly where that is. It is a real place. It's clearly marked by the types of fruit on the trees here, but what is this? A book. I still honestly can't figure that out. But if you'll follow me, And he takes you into the hallway with all of the paintings that you guys have seen before and used in order to solve the puzzle, the riddle, whatever you may call it. And he points at the one with the owl in the night sky. And he says, "This is a picture of Sweet Fruit Orchard. I know this for certain. It matches every description. There's only one place to get sweet fruit, and it's here. And what was making me very curious was this owl up at the top. I believe that this is an entity called the Watcher. And from lore, the Watcher is an immortal being that hides in a tree far away, in an unknown location, according to legend. But the Watcher is known for collecting and even sometimes recording their own history of the entire forest, and as an immortal being, that would make sense. What I'm guessing is this tomb in some way relates to something that the Watcher possesses, and from this painting, it seems as if the Watcher lives somewhere within Sweet Fruit Orchard. That book, plus the map, plus this painting, I believe this is the next place that our fine adventurers should go, while the rest of us
Well,
still
then I guess
clean
off
up
we
the
go.
city.
What's an orchard?
It's where fruits and vegetables, well, mostly fruits, apples. It's where, scratch that. It's where fruits grow, such as apples and pears, or peaches, tree fruits.
Whoa! And let's go to Sweet Fruit Orchard.
Should probably prepare. Get some rations and some stuff for the road. Maybe get some food. Yee.
Well, I'm sure there will be plenty of food there, but
How far is it away to Sweet Fruit Orchard?
It'll take a few days, I believe. Just 3 or 4, and we can take the trip together.
plenty of time to get our appetites up.
Are we not gonna eat on the way? I've got to eat a few times.
No, it's fine. We'll just eat at the orchard. That's fine.
Well,
Oh, you youths and your quick metabolisms.
I can't wait. I can't not. And I gotta bring some food with me. I can pack it.
All right. I have plenty of cookies. I have plenty of cookies in my
What?
bag.
I can bring my wagon.
Perfect.
Okay,
You know-
suddenly it is canon that Portobello has like a little red wagon.
I wouldn't expect anything different from Portobello.
I think I'm gonna lean down to Portobello and give Portobello the biggest secret ever, which is that the trick to very hard cookies and crackers is that if you pretend like they're supposed to be hard, they never go stale.
That's a good secret. I'll keep that one to myself. Maybe Bongo. I'll tell some people, but that's good.
Lila speaks up and says, "Well, I guess that you should be off. Simon, would you like to go with them? It seems like, well, if this Watcher has the history of the entire Mossflower Woods, wouldn't we want our expert museum curator to go with you?"
Yeah, come on, old man.
We're fuss.
What did you say, Anna?
We're fuss.
Oh. I thought you were causing a fuss. I didn't understand what was going on.
I don't want him to come with me.
Yeah.
We're fuss.
Oh, I would be honored. Yes, just make sure I do have somebody in mind to take care of the museum. Give me a few hours, and I will pack my things, and you will pack yours, and we'll meet, and we'll go see if we can find the Watcher and Sweet Fruit Orchard.
You know the traveling to an orchard song?
Of course I do.
All right, let's sing it.
Off
Apples.
to the orchard, walk, 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 and we step towards the trees to pluck the fruits. We're gonna pluck the fruits and take a bite. It'll be juicy good. We'll never fight.
Oh, you know this
as
song
long
real
as our
good.
stomachs are full. Right, of course.
That's it. That's the perfect ending. I'll fade that out as I put the music in. It's what I'll do.